Will the school please stand?
A very good morning and welcome to the Learning Club Sixth here, to the tutor groups scattered across the sites, to our onliners who are scattered across the world, and to colleagues and to parents, a very warm welcome to our end of term assembly. If you're in the room, please do sit down, and if you've happened to have stood in a tutor group somewhere, you can sit down too, maybe in a lounge in Shanghai. We have much to think about this morning, and to celebrate and to plan for, and some of which is tied up with this particular question: do you have anything to eat? So this week, the country paused to reflect on the year that has passed and to consider the people that we have lost, on the impact on our societies, and the things and the routines that we have missed. One of the things that I have missed is walking into a friend's or a relative's house for a meal, and this simple question, do you have anything to eat, feels like a bit of a lost phrase. And for me, it suggests closeness, it suggests laughter, it suggests sharing. And as we look forward, I hope that we will once again have the chance to remove these barriers that prevent us from asking this particular question and be closer to friends and family once again. But it seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, that we closed this particular site for the first time last March. It seems like an age since we decided to turn our house structure on its head and to create year group houses. And in spite of the misgivings of colleagues, of parents and pupils, you have made it work. And for many of you, it has been absolutely brilliant. For others, not so much. There isn't a system that's going to please everyone, but from what we have learned is important. And we have learned that humans are brilliantly adaptable. And if we look at the evidence from the last 12 months, we have adapted as a community superbly. But I know that there are a couple of questions that some of you have, and in 2 minutes I'm not going to persuade all of you who are desperate to stay in your current houses, but we will start that conversation. So 2 questions stand out right now. Why don't we stay in our year group houses permanently? And then maybe more pertinent to our situation right now, why are we moving now? So the short answer to the first question is that the vertical house structure that has pupils from different year groups provides opportunities for different roles, for leadership, for role modelling, for mentorship and followership. To be aware of the routines and the needs of different year groups is, I think, a fundamental learning point, actually. And it's the closest model that we can find in our school to mirror our basic family structures. You see, in our standard 9-hour school day of 8:30 to 5:30, at least 6 hours of that are spent in fixed co-ed year group activities. In reality, it's probably a bit more than that, because you could, of course, have lunch with someone in a different year. But if you take some of that other broken time, that additional 2-3 hours, depending on the length of your day, and you add a cross-school element, it adds colour to what is otherwise a fairly monotone school experience. Yes, I was talking to a colleague who is due to have a baby in the middle of August. And our conversation ended up at the point where we discussed that if that baby was just maybe 10 weeks late, 10 days late, later than its due date, that will change that entire year group that particular child is in. And some of you, I know, are at that particular borderline. So schools are quite an artificial construct, really. And what we want to do is provide as many opportunities as possible to work with different genders, ages, classes, races, creeds, to provide that diversity. And I think that combination of the year group experience for the vast majority of your day, that co-ed experience, and then that house experience, adding a little bit more colour to what we currently do. But let's just look at this particular question, which is, you might be sitting there going, well, that's fine, Miss Salisbury, I'm happy with that, but I don't understand why we're doing that now. So why are we moving now? The short answer is because we can. Cases are much lower, our testing regime is effective, our warmth, increased warmth, hopefully, not reflective in today's weather, allows for significantly more ventilation. We will be spending less time inside, And our routines and our rhythms with year group chapels, with divided lunchtimes, everything else that we have around that does limit the number of people in house at any one time. And when close contact is defined as 15 minutes inside 1 metre, we are fortunate when we look at the spaces that we have that maybe other schools don't have, that we can work with that and limit those close contacts within that. But, and this is significant and important, and this I want you to hear, we have to do houses differently. Okay, we have to collectively change our mindsets from houses, from fortresses to houses. We don't want to be living in castles, we want to be living in open houses. We have got to welcome people in. Every single boarding and day house has a space that can welcome in friends from other houses, every single one. We have 18 common rooms in this school, not including the girls' day rooms for the boarding houses. But it is a peculiarly Dean Close thing, and I say this with experience of lots of other schools, both personally but also through conversation, that for some reason, something within our culture means that we don't make more of these spaces for mixing with people from other houses, with the people that you would ordinarily choose to socialise with. So let me give you an example of this. If Mr. Hall came to my house, once regulations allow, because we're both very law-abiding people, as you know, we might sit in my house on the sofa, or around the dining room table, or maybe on a bench in the garden, and we might talk, and we might converse and share experiences, whatever it happens to be. It would be a little bit strange, and I think you'll probably agree with me, if Mr. Hall came into my house, walked upstairs, and sat down on a chair in my bedroom, and then we met there. It would be an unusual experience, because that's a private space. It would be strange, too, if he walked in and just simply helped himself to my bread and jam, and I do have some very nice jam. Or if he just walks straight in and goes, "Can I just use your toilet, please?" That would be a bit strange. But every single house that we have in this school has the physical space to do two things. One is to welcome people in and have that common space, but also to have those private spaces that you need at times where you can be quiet, where you can work, where you can talk one-to-one with people who are just in your house. We have the capacity for both. But one of the programs I have enjoyed recently is Grayson Perry's Art Club. Now, I know little about arts, and I currently really lack the skills required to create anything that anybody else would appreciate. But I love listening to Grayson talk about how he sees the world and how he just sees things differently. He can take a different perspective. And sometimes taking a different perspective does require a bit of courage. So, ladies and gents, when we come back after Easter, and I speak to everybody, whether you are returning to Dean Close for the very first time this year, whether you've been overseas for some time, or whether you are scattered around the site, when we come back after Easter, we have got to see our houses differently. We have to make them open and not closed. We need to stop being so territorial. And the housemaster and housemistresses have been thinking about this for a while, and I know they'll be keen to work with you all to find ways to increase that experience. And all the positives that we've held on to this term, let's take them into next term, into these new places. This isn't Hogwarts. The time has long passed when the house you were sorted into defined your school experience. Now, at the end of this assembly, I'm going to be looking a little bit more about what next term will be like, but we're going to now hear about a number of the academic and the co-curricular successes that you have been involved with this term. And I'm going to hand over to Mr. Hull and Mr. Suckle, who, amongst other things, will be sharing the results of the Flecker Challenge. But first of all, I think, to Mr. Hull.
Good morning, everyone. In terms of commended work, we start with maths. Mrs. Harris would like to commend Jason Yao in maths, who requested maths puzzles and was set one most days during lockdown. They are varied in standard and difficulty and can be very tricky indeed. He has completed all of them at varying times of the day, and some have clearly taken much longer than others. What Mrs. Harris really likes is that Jason clearly loves maths, and he realises that maths is all about doing puzzles and problem solving, and that it's fun. He is a great example as a mathematician. In biology, Miss Condy would like to recommend work by Fluff Howitt, Isaac Dransfield, Antonia Billington, and Rachel Sylvester in the fourth form for their work on the journey of a cheese sandwich. In art, Mrs. Rushton would like to put forward Andy Cottingham, Emily Cox, Martha Green, Nick Milne, and Hilary Mock for Headmaster's commendation for the digital work they did during online learning based on the work of David Hockney. In modern languages, Mr. Hooper would like to commend Oscar Jack for coming up with a brilliant 38-question Kahoot to help the lower sixth class revise key vocabulary on cinema. It was entirely accurate with clever selections of distractors and was greatly appreciated by the group. In biology, Mr. Wilkes would like to commend Io Satande Peters for a fantastic research project into epilepsy with nigh-on professional presentation, including highly detailed research and embedded videos. Mr. Wilkes would have been impressed had a Year 13 pupil submitted work of this standard. In English, Mrs. Milne would like to commend Natasha Kopak for an outstanding essay. Various responses from Mrs. Milne include, wow, flipping brilliant, bravo, and I love an essay that makes me think. I've read the essay also, and I can confirm it is very good. In art, this beautiful artwork was produced by Hanny Wong during lockdown. It is a response to the theme of fantasy and is made from sheets of paper which have been carefully and cleverly cut and then layered and then lit from behind. Mrs. Evans commends her for it. In art, Mrs. Ash would like to commend Rachel Hellier and Freya Clark. Rachel's response to the coursework unit explores the theme of memory and loss and has resulted in a touching and poignant installation sculpture which has been beautifully crafted and presented. Freya's response explores challenging family situations, focusing on the modelling of a young child. Freya worked independently and skillfully to construct the ceramic form and sensitively refined each element to achieve a sophisticated outcome. In history, Mrs. Feltham would like to nominate Rachel Sylvester and Fluff Howard for commendations. Rachel told the story of her great-grandfather who joined the army at the age of 17 in 1911 and arrived in Belgium as part of the British Expeditionary Force, fighting in the First Battle of Ypres. However, in October 1914, he was captured and taken prisoner. Fluff chose one of the soldiers suggested to research and made an amazing shoebox collection of a diary account, playing cards, a pipe, medals, and various other items to recreate the key aspects of life in trenches for World War I soldiers. Not only did both girls go above and beyond in their creativity, but are to be commended for their historical accuracy and detail in both projects. And finally, the Senior Physics Challenge. The Senior Physics Challenge for Year 12 students is always an exciting opportunity for students to stretch their problem-solving skills and apply fundamental physical principles to novel situations. For the first time this year, it was run as an online competition and so particularly tested the students' quick thinking and fluency in physics. Nationally, 5,270 students participated. Students who were prepared to take part in the competition demonstrated considerable courage and acumen, and their names are behind me. We are proud of all our students who took part, and the results are behind me, as you can see. But particular praise is due to Seb Till, whose mark placed him in the top 6% nationally. Could we please congratulate all pupils who've received commended work this term? We now move on to awards for the Flecker Challenge. And just to remind you about what the challenge involved, the Flecker Challenge was designed to test thinking beyond the set curriculum, and entrants were challenged to choose a subject area of their choice and complete a project set by that particular department or complete a free choice project. This provided an opportunity to pursue an area of study that you're really interested in and present your work and ideas in an imaginative and informative way. This was worked on mostly outside of lesson time and was handed in the first day after half term, and since then departments have been judging. Projects could take a variety of forms, and this might include video, artwork, essays, games, creative writing, articles, blogs, web pages, commentaries, to name but a few. Departments have awarded prizes for the winner and runner-up for the junior competition and a winner and runner-up for the senior competition. Besides that, the headmaster was keen to emphasise a number of key qualities that are important to academic study, but are also essential skills for life. These are communication, compassion, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking skills. So he will award prizes for the projects that exhibited these skills the best. Finally, from the department winners, the best overall projects and runners-up for both the junior and senior competitions were awarded by Mr. Suckle, who has been instrumental in organising a lot of this, and myself. And I can tell you this was really no easy task, as we were faced with some really outstanding work, some of which you'll see later. So really well done to everyone who took part. And in terms of awards, Mr. Suckle will now read the winners from each department, which has been judged by each academic department.
Thank you very much. It was great to get such a range of projects, really interesting and unexpected projects in. But it's my pleasure to to announce the names of the department projects. So we're going to hold our applause until the very end, and then we can congratulate all of these fantastic projects. So for art, junior runner-up is Evie Turner, junior winner is Isabella Harris, and senior winner is Sophia Odin. For biology, the junior winner is Emily Cox, senior runner-up is Tilly Rogers, and the senior winner is Luke Davis. For business economics, the junior runner-up is Thomas Phillips, junior winner Caitlin Thompson, senior runner-up Zach Price, and senior winner Guy Green. And junior runner-up for chemistry is Izzy Walton, junior winner Evie Cooper, and senior winner Charlie Harris. For classics, the junior winner is Genevieve Bullingham, the senior runner-up is Toby Greaves, senior winner is Phoebe Channing. For computer science, junior runner-up Benjamin Crease, junior winner Elias Musette, and senior winner Jed Nelson. For design technology, the junior runner-up is Alex Hill, and the junior winner is Felix Asprey. For drama, the junior runner-up is Florence McInnes, junior winner Fenella Troughton, senior runner-up Charlie Harris, and senior winner Emily Forge. For English, the junior winner is Onome Ovi Otabele, senior runner-up is Rose Watts, and the senior winner is Georgia Hubbard. For food preparation and nutrition, the junior runner-up is Rathnisa Moni, and the junior winner Eve Wheaton. And for geography, the junior winners, joint winners, are Harry Wrighthouse and Nell Curry. And for senior runners-up, again, joint runners-up, Peter Philip Cotter and Alice Howitt, with the senior winner, Josh Collinet. For history and politics, the junior winners, again joint, are Erin Jeffrey and Ceci Mulvaney, and the senior winners joint are Daphne Bennett and Megan John. For modern foreign languages, the junior runner-up, Cassian Pickler-Rocker, and junior winner, Martha Sharp. For music, junior winners, Gabby Rogers and Venetia Nimbang. Together, that was an ensemble. And senior winners are joint, Frederick Philip Sorensen and Connor Brocky. And for physical education, junior runner-up Charlie Beardsmore, junior winner Nell Curry. Last one. Physics, junior runner-up Ed Smart, junior winner Samuel Crawford. Senior runner-up for physics, Arsen Kachalov, and senior winner Sebastian Till. For psychology, junior runner-up Simon Fantz, junior winner Clara Law, senior runner-up Tilly Webster, senior winner Susie Carter. And for religious studies, the junior winner is Ama Kurangtema Ofusu Apei. And for our free choice project, the junior winners are Daniel Woodward Court and Gregor McLennan. Again, joint winners. It was impossible to tell the difference between the marks. They were so good. And senior winners, same thing for Mimi Payton and Lucy Brooks. So if we could put our hands together and give all these projects a round of applause. I'd now like to invite the headmaster up to, if he could give his 5 awards for communication, compassion, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking.
Just before I do that, it'd be great if you're sitting upstairs, if you can just put your feet down on the floor, please. I would appreciate that. Thank you. So 5 awards to make this morning. They could have been gone in a number of directions, but for communication, the ability to share ideas, picked up Maya Dimmer's project on Venezuela, great combination of text, images, and video. For somebody particularly exhibiting compassion, so a concern for others, Emily Dempsey's superb climate change project. For creativity, picked out Rose Watts, whose brilliant use of imagery, classical references, quality of language, really drew the listener and the reader in to her lyrics. For collaboration, a big project where it is really easy to see the work of Charlotte Reed, Luke Tomlinson, Lawrence Archers, Jen Nelson, Jay Lee, and Luke Davis. They were working in different parts of the world, and they brought together a superb quality science magazine. And then finally, for critical thinking, really struck by Seb Till's superb illustrated essay on the future-proofing of energy production and consumption, critical use of both qualitative and quantitative data, all building towards a fantastic argument and conclusion. So many congratulations to all of you. Let's give them a round of applause.
I'm conscious you've seen a lot of names, and we felt that we should reward those pupils for the great efforts they've made. We are actually going to show you some of the work that was produced because I'm going to talk about the overall winners for the competition. So to begin with, the runner-up in the junior competition is Caitlin Thompson. And hopefully we can see her work here. And next, the joint winners of the junior competition are Martha Sharp and Fenella Troughton. And I think to begin with, we're going to look at Martha's project. Martha's project.
J'adore Paris, mais comme les autres grandes villes, il y a des problèmes. Par exemple, quand j'y étais, il y avait des manifestations de gilets jaunes tous les samedis. Contre le président, les casseurs brûlant des magasins et les voitures. C'était effrayant. Un autre défi pour Paris, ce sont les crues. Suivant la Seine déborde ses rives. Dans l'avenir, ça va continuer d'être un problème à cause du réchauffement global.
And next we have Fenella's project, which looks at 6 sets for swallows and amazons, which were all made in shoe boxes, which is incredibly detailed and really quite beautiful. So an astonishing amount of detailed work going into that. So those were the 2 joint winners from the junior competition. The senior competition, the runner-up for a really absolutely brilliant piece of work was Emily Forge. And the winner of the senior competition for an astonishing compilation of songs, really a remarkable piece of work, is Georgie Hubbard.
I wanna know your story like I know my own name. Your life is a patchwork I hold over my head. There are avenues in my mind of where we used to ride through the music to the places that you've been, across the vast oceans and down the slopes of France. Every step I am captivated, taking in the view. I'll memorize everything, given half a chance. I trust that you'll remember all the things I long to do, the dreams I've kept a secret. Well, now you know them too. The fights I've had, the things I've done, my childhood memories, my long chaotic plotline led me straight to you. I'll tell you my story, my highs and my lows, successes and failures, you know how it goes. If I lose my way when I start to roam, you'll show me the map that brings me back home. Love, write me a story of you, and I'll write it down and feed it back to you. If ever you get scared or lose who you are, just read back the history, read back the history, read back the history inscribed on my heart.
I hope that's given you an indication of why we did this, in that I don't think we would have come across such originality and creativity through the normal curriculum. And for everyone, particularly the winners, but for everyone taking part, I think it was an opportunity to do something different and really show that originality. So congratulations to the winners and everybody who took part. I should point out that prizes will be on their way to the winners shortly from the Headmaster's treasure chest. I think he might have to rob a bank or something with a number of names, but they will be coming at the start of next term. And finally, from me, some academic notices. For the fifth form and upper sixth, obviously with trials beginning immediately after the Easter break, there's need for revision during this time. I know Mr. Suckle has given you advice regarding revision techniques, and you should have had revision topic lists to reduce the amount you have to do from departments. So please prioritise that. A reminder that during the trial exam period, as there isn't exam leave, the fifth form, when you're not in an exam, you'll be in normal lessons during which you can just revise. And the upper six should be in the library when they haven't got exams. In terms of trial exams and exam board tests, please remember, they are not the be-all and end-all. There is a holistic approach in terms of the work you're producing. And by doing both, everything is not on one exam. We're taking a range of evidence. And when determining centre-assessed grades, classwork, prep, coursework, topic tests, trial exams, exam board tests, all of these things will be taken into account. So whilst the trials are important and you need to revise for them, please let's keep a sense of perspective, because during the first half of next term, all your teachers will be looking at the work you've done over the last 18 months and coming hopefully to a really positive prediction of where you are in relation to the syllabus and your attainment. So do get some rest, but please be prepared for those trial exams after the break. Have a good holiday. Thank you.
Good morning. Back in December, Cassian Piclarocca flew out to Spain to take part in the Spanish TV show Prodigios, the equivalent of the UK's Got Talent for classical vocals. Cassian will appear tomorrow night on the show, which is being broadcast on RTVE. The experience was incredibly demanding, but Cassian coped admirably considering the endless restrictions he had to adhere to. He behaved in a professional manner at all times. Cassian had been recruited and championed by Ainhoa Arteta, currently Spain's most famous soprano, who is one of the show's judges. Thanks to the assistance of Mr. Perfect, Cassian delivered a beautiful Italian song on stage, and Cassian had to make substantial sacrifices and effort to be part of Prodigios, and was asked to open the show. This proved to be an invaluable experience for Cassian, and is so much richer for the experience. Can we just give Cassian a round of applause? staying with music, Michael Lee has achieved an incredible record, gaining distinction in 2 diplomas on different instruments within just a couple of weeks of each other. The music diploma is a post-grade 8 qualification based entirely on performance. You will have seen and heard Michael playing in this morning's concert. These performances are equivalent to the recital taken by final year conservatoire students. For his London Royal School of Music distinction in piano and his diploma distinction with the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music and Violin, we are very pleased to award Michael his colours for music. Many congratulations. And as I speak, Michael is being presented with his certificate and his badge by the Director of Music, Mr. Dom Franks. And for an update on the House Music Competition, points have been awarded in line with usual practice for submission of recordings, getting through to the finals in classes where shortlisting was necessary, and the results already in from the singing classes. There are currently only 15 points dividing the top 4 houses, and the leaderboard is currently Field in first place, Hatherley in second, third place is tied between Fawley and Mead, and in 5th place a tie between Shelburne and Tower. So all to play for next term. The Adventure Programme was officially launched in September last year, and since then has provided some stunning opportunities for the pupils, including nighttime walks and bike rides, rock face climbing on Cleve Hill, learning the tricks of the trade in learning to roll the kayaks in the swimming pool, and then venturing out into the rivers and lakes over the past few weeks. Next term, the 5th form have the option of signing up to adventure sports as part of their games option. If you're in other year groups, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved during the activity program. It will be a mix of mountain biking, climbing, and paddle sports. Some of the sessions will happen on school site, but we will aim to get off site as much as possible and are likely to include mountain biking on Cleve Hill, 417 Bike Park and Forest of Dean, rock climbing on Cleve Hill and boulders in Cheltenham, kayaking, paddleboarding and canoeing at some of the local lakes, River Avon or River Wye. A message from Mr. Beecham. He says, don't worry if you aren't already a mountain biker or paddler. There'll be plenty of training before pointing down the steep stuff. But you will need to be up for a challenge and be prepared to push yourself to make the most of this. For more information, follow Dean Close Adventure on Instagram and see what the pupils have been up to over the last 2 terms. That's all from me, and I hope you all have a restorative Easter break. Thank you.
It's just been fantastic for me just to be able to watch all of that work coming through, to hear the highlights. I've loved seeing the upper 6th netball game, the song recital the other nights, hearing about the laptops that we've donated as a community and have been refurbed. It is when you see it in the flesh, and we've missed that, haven't we, this year, be able to see those opportunities. So thank you to all of you who have contributed to that work. And particular thanks to Mr. Suckle and Mr. Hull and to the departments for engaging so brilliantly in the Flecker Challenge. Just a bit of homework for everybody. Please can I just ask that over the course of the holidays, every single member of this community, if they are able to, completes 2 COVID tests per week. You should all be able to pick up a pack from your houses. If you haven't got that yet, please make sure you do it. Each pack has 7 tests in that will see you through and mean that we are arriving fresh and ready for the start of next term. But as we head into a final third of our year, with 14 weeks to go until the end of the academic year, the focus next term is going to be on drawing things together and on to rediscovering some of the things that we have missed. I hope that many of you will really appreciate the satisfaction that you get from turning over an exam paper and that point where you realise that you've learned enough to answer the question, and that the result that you get, the grade that you get for that test, whatever that's a little test in class, really reflects that sense of achievement. And I'm pleased that this year's exam candidates are going to be able to look at that grade in August and see the efforts that you're going to be putting in over the course next little while reflected in that. It is a really good thing to get that sense of achievement from hard work. But everything that you do now is going to put you in a stronger position. So to the 5th and the upper 6th, don't be frightened by that, but just recognise that everything that you do, every minute that you spend, every 10 minutes that you invest in that is moving you forwards. and you're not sliding back. We have your back. We've already got a whole load of grades, so things aren't going to get worse. Everything now is just about moving forwards, and your papers are going to be set by people who know what you have been taught. You are in an enviable position in terms of managing that pressure. I know it's been a strange year, but I do know that if you work hard, you'll be so thrilled with the grades that you get, and you will see your efforts reflected back at you. Other things happening next term. Fixtures are starting in the third week back. We've got 2 outdoor plays scheduled for June, and I can't wait to be reminded of just how good our drama is. We've got a concert planned too, and Speech Day on the 26th of June will happen in one form or another. We're also going to have to live with some significant disruption as work begins on transforming the front corridor from classrooms that haven't changed in pretty much half a century to spaces that are going to be great for learning. It is, and there's no two ways about it, it's going to be a pain at times for some of you next term. But in 24 weeks' time, we hope to have housed the Maths Department in a permanent facility for the first time in, I think, about 25 years. Can I just ask, if you've developed the habit of just talking to the person next to you, if you could just stop that? We don't tend to do that. Thank you. So before then, we have the Easter holiday. And I return to the question that I asked at the beginning of this, which is, do you have anything to eat? And it's actually my favourite Bible verse. And it comes in Luke's Gospel, and it comes at a place at the end of the events from the crucifixion through the days of waiting, the resurrection. And then this is the question that Jesus asks of his disciples when he meets them. And the disciples have been through every emotion, from the highs of the triumphal entry into Jerusalem to the lows and the despondencies and the fear surrounding the crucifixion. And then comes this ultimate moment of hope. And Luke describes it as Jesus standing before them and asking them if they have anything to eat. The thing that I love about it is so everyday, it is so normal, and it reminds them at that particular moment of their friendship, of happier times, and of normality. Now, we have some way to go. But on Monday in the UK, we can sit in a garden with 5 friends and we can eat a meal together. On the 12th of April, if all things go well, we hope to be able to eat Scotch eggs or their vegetarian equivalent in a pub or a restaurant garden as a substantial meal. On the 17th of May, you can take that Scotch egg and you can eat it with 30 of your closest friends outside. There's even a suggestion that hugging may be acceptable, which some people seem to think is a good thing. But these words of Jesus more than 2,000 years ago, for me, and they seem to resonate more now than maybe at other times, this simple, normal question, do you have anything to eat? They are really our music to my ears, and they scream for me of freedom and of hope, and I think we all need a bit of that. So wherever you are right now, whether you're in the theatre with me this morning, whether you're in a tutor group, whether you're online learning overseas, please can I ask you one final thing, that before you finish the end of the day, that you say thank you to somebody who has helped you out over the course of the term. Maybe that's writing an email to a teacher, sending them a message on Teams, dropping them a card. A colleague shared with me yesterday a little notes that had been scribbled down on a piece of lined paper that they were really struck by about how much that meant to them. So please say thank you to somebody and have a really good 3 weeks. We'll see you in April. Will you please stand?